VL yet either. What was the question on Voight? Can you please do an in-depth, oh my god, Elliott wave count on Voight and potential different wave counts? First challenge is finding Voight. I can't find it. Then what? Must be here somewhere. Yeah, I've got it. I think this is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the 2. A, B, C. 1. That was an extended flat. 1. A, B, C. So the 2 is complete there. I updated this already. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we completed our wave 3. But that's not necessarily wave 3 complete. That's just wave 1 of 3. Okay. This is your wave 1. We've had our wave 2, and this is probably the wave 1 of 3. And now we're in the 2 of 3. Okay. That's what I think. So let me change the color so it's not confusing. Okay. And actually you've got the 3 going much further, because you would expect the 3 to be more bullish than the 1. Or at the very least some kind of 1-to-1. Okay. So you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for a 5 to complete 3. So we're still in the wave 3, but we're correcting on the 4 for the next push up. And then you have the higher time frame 4, and then you have the wave 5. Okay. Now the rules of Elliott waves are, so you've created your 1, you've created your 2, we're in the 3, the 4 must not come underneath the top of the 1, which is here. So whenever we have the 4, it cannot, it doesn't allow, Elliott waves doesn't allow you to have the 4 come underneath the 1. So that has to hold a support. And then you can have a 5. The other rule, which is really important, is that the 3 cannot be the shortest. Okay. It cannot be the shortest. It can be the biggest, or it can be the second biggest, but it cannot be the shortest. So as long as this wave 3 is not shorter than this 1, then the 5 can be bigger. If the wave 3 suddenly is shorter than the 1, then the wave 5 is going to be the shortest. Okay, that's how it works. I didn't make it up. It's just, I'm just repeating what I've learned and seen. Oh shit, why did I get rid of those? I don't know those. What's that? Ray. That's the previous. Let me just change the color so I can see it clearly. That's your SR flip. Let me get rid of that one. I don't think it's relevant. So that I had this kind of idea. You see, price goes up, comes back down, goes up again. So I think we're having an ABC here, and this is our wave 4. That's what it looks like to me. And we are holding support. You see, we're holding support. Now it looks bearish, but decreasing volume, decreasing prices, holding support. It's not bearish. This is a bullish correction, and potentially it's some kind of flat correction because we're holding support. As long as you hold support, that's fine. If you lose support, it doesn't mean anything. You're still correcting. It just means you might have something much deeper like that. Okay. That would be perfectly acceptable as long as you don't come underneath the 1. See? So you have a line in the sand here. Is that the top? I don't think that's the top, because it's not, I mean, it's quite subjective. Could that be the top, or is this the top? I kind of see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then you have this kind of flat correction, extended flat, like A, B, C for the next impulse. But you know, I could be wrong. Maybe that is the top, and the 2. How will I? Where's the 2? Still back down to here. Yeah. In any case, if we do go down and lose that SR flip, I think it'd be hard. It'd require a little bit of strength to reclaim it. So that's why I think maybe this is more correct, and you have this kind of sell-off only to come back into the top of this this basically the launch price. Yeah, that's an if. I'm not saying it's going to happen, because right now we're holding support. So as long as you're holding support, you could just have a flat correction up here. And looking at this, you've had a flat correction before. We've had a flat correction before. Why not another flat correction? So you've had a flat correction. It's not it's not inordinary. It's not unordinary. It's not unusual to have a flat correction with this token. Yeah, because you've had one before, like an extended flat here. You don't really have deep token corrections. Like even that's quite flat. It's not flat, but it's not crazy deep in the scheme of things. So I am thinking this is kind of possible. And if we do hold support, it's going to be kind of touch and hit and miss when Bitcoin really corrects. Do you just fake out here? Just a little fake out. Take the lows here, just to kind of get back above it and go. Just to get people to dump their tokens, but actually people are buying who are seeing this kind of corrective behavior. And does it have to go to May? No, it could be much earlier. It could be like this. You know, who knows? Or you could have it could be like that, like you had before here. Or it doesn't have to go up with Bitcoin. It could just be correcting with Bitcoin. Who knows? Like, it's something going on here. But I think, in my view, is that you don't want to lose this SR flip. I just don't think it'll look good. You'll go much lower if you lose that. You're probably heading for the launch price. If you lose that, it would still be fine. Gonna get rid of all of these ones now from the past. Not necessarily. Amazing, I had that long trade from down here and should have taken it. I'm sure some people took it. So I had the idea of what we needed to do once we got above that line, and look, it's kind of, it's doing one of these last two now. It will either kind of go like this and go down, or it's going to kind of go like this and go up. And so you're in those kind of two ideas. Get rid of that. All of these lines are relevant. Same position. See another along there. Okay. Let me just hide these into Elliott's. You want more depth than that? Are you still here, Man Cave? I wouldn't mind if the price was able to clear this liquidity. You know, that'll make it easier to go up, because you still have some trap liquidity which hasn't been cleared. You've come all the way up to the point of control, but there's still some trap liquidity there. And I wouldn't mind actually if we clear the liquidity from all of these highs here to come back down, another test for a move up. That would be quite nice. To see that would be really nice, and then people will take profit and then they'll just put right back in at that SR flip. They for sure would do that. If the price now suddenly went up, I can imagine a lot of people would be taking profit. Oh, it wasn't Man Cave. It was Name. Sorry. I'm so confused. It was Name who was asking me, not Man Cave. It's looking okay at the moment, and I think that's because Bitcoin is holding. The minute Bitcoin starts doing something else, then you will see a sell-off, and that's normal. And then you're just looking at another, like a much deeper correction. But at the moment, as long as Bitcoin doesn't really go down deep, then this is actually just pretty much holding its flight path. You can see that the down move now has decreasing volume. Yeah, decreasing volume, which is quite good to see. I can tell you for a fact that I'm seeing bullish divergences on my CCI indicator here. Why? Ask me why. Well, the reason why is because we're right at the bottom at minus 100, which acts as a support level. It's kind of underneath it, but it doesn't matter. It's kind of there. And the price is way up there. The price hasn't followed the CCI. So this has come all the way down to the bottom, and the price is still at the top. You know, when you consider that, this went from the bottom to the top, bottom to the top. So if this comes down to the bottom, it should come down to there to follow the same path. But actually, you see the CCI is at the bottom, the price is still at the top. So you're seeing hidden bullish divergences, which means there's absorption happening here. People are limit longing here, holding, accumulating. It's like a reaccumulation area here. That's on a daily time frame. Again, on the local time frame, I can see some bullish divergences on the MACD as well. 12-hour, you see you're making lower lows on the MACD, you're making higher highs on the price. Same thing here. You see on the MACD, you're making lower lows here, higher lows there. This hidden bullish divergence. It just tells you that there's absorption happening here. People are accumulating. Have a look at the weekly time frame. Yeah, you just want to hold that SR flip now. That's really bullish if you hold that. And then in terms of you were talking about potential targets. Well, let me just try and figure this out. The easiest way to do targets, the brainless way, is just to that's interesting. We're in the golden pocket as well. So we're in the golden pocket. We're kind of holding the lower. So there's a really strong level here. The 618 aligned with the SR flip. If this holds, that's really bullish. Because you're just back testing the 618. And then it would be nice, like I was saying, to go and clear these highs here now. And come back in for one more test. For like another extended correction. It might not happen, but for sure there's going to be a little bit of resistance. These fib levels are reacting, yeah. So it's good. These are good areas to buy and sell on the higher time frame. You do a log on the log scale, do a fib from the all-time high to the all-time low, and then as the price is going up, there's reactions at these levels. Okay. It's a very easy way to trade. And then the easy way to do the extension, which I've done in the past, would be the 1272, which is $22. It's a lot, huh? If it went from 28 cents to 20 do the $2, you're talking about nearly 100x from where we are now, like 90x or something. And the way to that'll be easy way to do a target. Does it have to go there? Probably no. What you would do, you do a trend-based fib and see if you can find some kind of confluence. So you see we come to the 618 here in this trend-based fib. If this was our 1, this was our 2, we come to the 618. And I think for this wave, we want to get past the 1, so to the all-time high, basically. I think if you get to the 1, you're going to the all-time high. So if I do not all the fib counts, which is the one I want to do, the big one, yeah, this one. So then you've got potentially going up to the all-time high. And then this corrective one, and I don't know how long that's going to take. Who knows? This is going to be important. So the question is this: if you overshoot the all-time high, then the 4 can nicely backtest the all-time high for continuation. And if you reject from the all-time high, then the 4 could come all the way back to the 1. So the all-time high will need to flip. It will need to flip as a support and resistance into support. and it's just hard to know whether we're going to see what kind of reaction you're going to see at the all-time high. If you take the all-time high, then that's a higher high, and potentially it could pump more. But I think a 1-to-1 would be pretty it depends on the impulse, you know. So anyway, that's an idea from here to here to here. Let me do something else as well. I can do an inverse, an extension from here to here. Nope, that doesn't help. It'll be nice to see how far this 3 gets. Hypothetically, if the 3 just gets to this all-time high, yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, we have to see what happens. I don't know. I don't. It's going to be really the further we go in, the easier it will become. Yeah. Right now, it's just guessing. It's just guesswork. Just based on this 0 to 1 to 2. You've got your trend-based fib and you've got your levels, and you can see that it was front one here, but you see, and that's because of the point of control here, but you see that was a good place for the price to react. The 6-1, it actually got close, but not as high. It was here, it's 51 cents. It got as high as 48 cents. The reason why is because there was confluence, and it was this trapped volume that was here, which is why it reacted like that. A little bit of a front run. Okay. But if you know, potentially, it depends on this full correction. And the problem is going to be Bitcoin, because I'm just imagining that Bitcoin goes up. So let's say Bitcoin goes up to 100k and then corrects all the way back down to 70k. Yeah, that's going to destroy the alts, and so you could see a very deep correction. That's a deep correction. It's because I'm using the log scale. It doesn't look deep, but you're basically going down 86%. Yeah, that's quite a deep correction. Just go, maybe it will come back to there, and it all depends on Bitcoin. That's a 92% correction. That's quite a lot. And so I think Bitcoin's going to have a large impact on what happens. And see, right now we're still under the all-time high and we're pre-halving. So the corrections aren't very deep. Once we pump into higher numbers, and so from here to the all-time high, you're at 10x. So that's quite a lot of increase in value for most people, and that's why you see deep corrections, and the only way to overcome that is to put in large volume higher up. And so right now, when I'm looking at the overall volume, there isn't really much volume, and that's potentially a concern. Most of the volume was down here. You need volume, because if you don't have volume, then you can get deep corrections. Yeah, because it's the volume that's going to hold the price as the price goes up. Right now we see most of the volume is down here, so unless we get like significant volume put in, then the correction, when there is a big correction, it could be deep, and that happens potentially when you have higher prices, when you get into higher prices. Okay, so just looking at the volume, I'm not crazy about the volume. on this incline, increasing value. I'm not crazy about it. I'm looking at the overall picture, the weekly picture. There is increasing volume here, so that's fine. It's good that there's an increase when the price goes up, but I'm just not crazy about the overall volume. Okay, and so most of the volume's been put into these lows. At some point in the future, these people will take profit. They will take profit. More likely than not, it will be the all-time high, and that will be a 1-to-1 on this move. If it's less than the 1-to-1, that's not good. If it's more, that's better. The reason why is because if it's less, then the wave 5 is going to be shorter. The 3 can't be the shortest. So you want the 3, it has to get to the all-time high, and that will be longer than the 1, and then the 5 could potentially be longer. And then you just have to see how the 4 corrects. Once the 4 corrects, you can do another trend-based fib, and then it'll be a lot easier to come up with higher price targets. And the way to do it is to see where you have confluence on fibs. So we have our extension from the all-time high to the all-time low. We have that. And we have this one, which is from the 0 to the 1 to the 2. There's no confluence really. I can't see any confluence yet. There's maybe a little bit of resistance here. That's much higher up. And so we just need more data right now. And until you get it, it's going to be very difficult to come up with correct areas where the price can turn back to the downside in price discovery. Yeah. And actually in my mind, I'm thinking when in price discovery, they probably all react, but the one where the price can actually turn will be the one where you have fib levels corresponding with roughly the same value, and that's going to be based on the trend, lining up the trend with potentially with the extension. Okay, and then obviously if there are trend lines, that's going to help. So this trend line that I'm seeing here is no help whatsoever. It's no help whatsoever. Potentially you can draw a channel from these lows to the all-time high. There's no reaction on the midpoint, so it's very hard to know whether this is correct. Okay. I'm not fond of any of these, because when we're doing channels, you want to see the midpoint react. This is the best one actually. Look. Let me get rid of these fib lines. So the way I drew this was from this low to this pivot low here. Let me get it correctly on the pivot. And then from here to this pivot here. And you see the midpoint here reacts. You see that? That's what you want to see. When you draw a channel, you also want to see the midpoint react. If it doesn't react, then it's hard to know if the channel is correct. This looks good. Actually, I like this. So that helps a little bit, because you can see you're expecting another reaction off the midpoint, and then if we come back down, you're expecting this bull market channel, the lower channel, to hold, and hopefully that will hold with some kind of horizontal level. And you could potentially be looking at something, who knows, that's all the way until November. I don't know when we're going to get to the all-time high, if you were to get to the next week, there would be a really strong resistance there. Maybe you overextend, who knows. But I think that channel's nice, so you could like just use that and then see. And then the other thing you can do, like I showed you, a retracement. Once the 3 is put in, it'll be a lot easier to come up with some kind of targets for. We have a lot of pivots then, so we can do lots of different fib pools to see if we can get some kind of confluence in price discovery, if we get there. It's good though, it's looking okay. We're into the golden pocket here. Just need to hold 618, which is your SR flip on this pivot. You just hold that, and then you're looking for continuation. Okay. And because we have this lower trend line, if for some reason BTC does correct and this doesn't hold this support, and you have like an ABC now, which is more like a zigzag, then because you have this nice trend line, maybe it can come back into it. If this now just drops, back tests it, and then there's another drop, which is fine because it will just be coming in to test this area. Then you have a nice area. This now suddenly drops. This is an if. Then you have like an ABC like that, and then a 1-to-1 on that, or a 1-to-1 to 272. Maybe something like that. Actually, 1-to-1 would be much. It wouldn't be good actually. Hold on. One-to-1 would be overextending actually. This would have to go much lower. No, I don't like it. I don't like this idea at all. We'll see. I think support has to hold. Tell everyone to buy. That's all it is, really. Support holding is just people buying. That's all it is. It's not rocket science. Yeah. If people are buying here, the price won't go down. That's all it is. It's better to put limit orders as well to absorb the selling. Doesn't even matter about Bitcoin if people are buying. Actually, doesn't really matter about Bitcoin. If people are buying, who cares about Bitcoin? It just means that when Bitcoin corrects, people are buying. That's really the solution to a bullish token. And people are asking, like, why does my token go down when Bitcoin corrects? Because when Bitcoin corrects, no one is buying. Yeah. But if you have a community that is buying when Bitcoin corrects, then when Bitcoin pumps, your token goes to the moon. That's what happens. That's how it works. So it's all about buyers and sellers. That's all it is, really. It's very simple when you think about it. And we're at a good place for buying. Yeah, we're at a good place. So let's see how this plays out. I'm happy to do updates. So if you want one in the future, not every day, but I'm happy to do one because I can kind of create a video, and I like doing that. So we're still in the wave 3 right now, and you really want to get to the all-time high now with this move. We're at the key SR flip, and people should just continue buying because it doesn't really matter about Bitcoin if people are buying VAIOT. Doesn't matter at all. It's actually the right place because this is where you fill your bags, because Bitcoin is correcting. People are selling their alts because they're stupid or they're panicking. And that's where you can fill your bags because you have sellers buying into support. And as long as you absorb the sellers, exhaust the sellers, when Bitcoin finally starts going up, that's when you start pumping. Because then that's when people start buying. You see, people start buying alts when Bitcoin starts going up. But if you exhaust the sellers, then when the price goes up, it goes up fast because you've exhausted the sellers. There's no more sellers. Yeah, and so when they start buying, there's no sellers and the price just keeps on going up really fast, right? So this is quite a good test to see how strong this token is. If in the whole of Bitcoin correction, this does a really nice flat correction, I will buy some. If I see an ABC here and it's still here, I'm totally going to buy some. Are you mad? Look at this. This is great. This is fantastic. I'll probably aiming to the high, to at least to this level here, $22 from the current price.